I'll say 6:05, and let's call the meeting to order. Vice Chair Ng.
We begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather, currently known as the City of West Hollywood, is the occupied, unceded, seized territory of the Gabrielino Tongva and Gabrielino Quiche peoples.
Next item is Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Cochran, would you lead the pledge?
Yes, Chair. Thank you. If everyone could please rise and put their hand on their chest. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
And justice for all.
Thank you.
Next item, roll call. May I please get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Berry?
Here.
Commissioner Cochran?
Here.
Commissioner Eisenberg?
Here.
Commissioner Woolen?
Here.
Vice Chair Ng?
Here.
And Chair Yusupov.
Here.
And we have a quorum.
Next item is approval of agenda. Are there any changes to tonight's agenda?
There are no changes.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Okay. Vice Chair
Seconded.
Ng and Commissioner Eisenberg, may I have a roll call?
Commissioner Berry?
Aye.
Commissioner Cochran?
Aye.
Commissioner Eisenberg?
Aye.
Commissioner Woolen?
Aye.
Vice Chair Ng?
Aye.
And Chair Yusupov.
Aye.
The item is approved.
The next item is approval of the minutes. Are there any changes to the minutes of the February 11 meeting?
There are no changes.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Commissioner Woolen and seconded by Commissioner Eisenberg. Can we have a roll call by show of hands? Right?
Those abstaining?
Does everyone approve minutes? Okay, minutes approved. The next item is public comment. This time is set aside for members of the public to address the West Hollywood Business License Commission on items of general interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of commission. This is not the public comment period for any public hearings on the agenda. Public comment for public hearings will occur at the time of the hearing. There will be also general public comment later in the meeting for those who could not be heard at this time. Each speaker will have 2 minutes. To participate in the Business License Commission meeting as a speaker telephonically, you must have registered by 2 p.m. today. If you did not register with the city staff, you will be unable to join the meeting as a speaker. Those who are present in person may register anytime before the public comment period closes. Do we have any public speakers?
Yes, we have J.P. Dupree.
Okay, you have 2 minutes.
Good evening, folks. I'm a longtime City of West Hollywood resident, first moved here in 2007. I am a supporter of legal, recreational, and medical cannabis. I am a customer of the Abbey. I am strongly supportive of...
Excuse me. Is this for item 7A or general comment, public comment?
I'm sorry, it is for the item.
Okay, we'll call you at 7A.
Pardon me.
Thank you. There are no other public speakers at this time.
All right, thank you. So next item is item number 7. Item 7A, a request to amend resolution number BLC 24-0005, specifically condition number 18, to allow an extension of the time when the business must begin to operate under the cannabis adult use retail business license number CAU-000011 and cannabis medical use dispensary business license number CMU-000004 for the business known as Green Queen to be located at 802 San Vicente Boulevard. I will now open the public hearing. Secretary, how was this item noticed?
All notices were posted as required by law.
Do any commissioners have any disclosures to make on site visits to the business or other conversations or evidence received before the meeting that may impact the commissioners' decisions on the matter? Thank you. Is there a staff report?
Hi, good evening, Chair and Business License Commissioners, Jessica Benitez in the Neighborhood and Business Safety Division. Also with me is Mr. Vito Idomaitis, Neighborhood and Business Safety Manager, and also Deputy City Attorney Scott Shapsis. So the item before you tonight is a modification request, and I'll provide background. On September 10th of last year, this body approved resolution number BLC 24-005, which included a variance request to transfer 100% of the cannabis adult use and cannabis medical business license from Mr. Eric Kidney to Mr. Tristan Shurruff. As well, this modification approved a relocation from 8464 Santa Monica Boulevard to 802 San Vicente Boulevard. Such approvals, as indicated, are codified in Resolution BLC 24-0005. In the resolution, there's specific condition, number 18, to ensure the business continually operates during the new ownership and does not have a lapse of 60 days. On February 24, 2025, the owner submitted an application to amend Resolution BLC 24-005. And the request is to request for an extension to the 60-day requirement listed in condition number 18 due to various factors. St. Helen's lease at the previous location expired on January 31st of 2025, which automatically created a deadline to open by March 28, 2025. In addition, the business applied to transfer the cannabis business license through the State of California Department of Cannabis Control, but the state has determined that a new license is required for the change of ownership structure and relocation of the business to 802 San Vicente, and this has been a lengthy process. Pursuant to West Hollywood Municipal Code Section 5.08, 210, subsection B, the Business License Commission may change, modify, eliminate any conditions previously placed on a license upon written request of the licensee if it finds that the reasons for the original imposition of such conditions have been cured or no longer exist. So the city had to do fact findings regarding this particular code section. Our records indicate that the business has obtained a sign permit and currently working with the city's Building and Safety Division to obtain the required permits to renovate the existing commercial retail space. Additionally, the request before you is aligned with other similar extensions codified in the West Hollywood Municipal Code Section 5.70.035, allowable extensions. And as we describe in our staff report, this is a unique circumstance, as this is the first business that has been in continual operations for over 2 years. They had a change of ownership, they relocated to a new tenant space, and the state requirements were not anticipated to take longer than 60 days. It is for this reason that the city is supportive of amending such condition number 18 to begin to operate September 28, 2025, with possible extensions. That is, if the applicant shows proof of significant and diligent progress towards opening as required in the municipal code. We have in communication with the DCC, which they have informed us that they are working in issuing the license by June 2025. Also, we have reviewed the application, the supporting documentation, and the business, and we confirm that the business is working with the city's Building and Safety Division, the DCC, and to obtain all required permits and licenses. So with that, we recommend that this body approves the modification of condition number 18. If approved, condition 18 will resume force and effect as of September 28, 2025. And with that, I end my brief presentation, and we're available for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have any questions to the staff at this time? Commissioner Berry?
Hi, thank you for the staff report. So West Hollywood Municipal Code 5.08.210B talks about changing, modifying, and eliminating provisions. I have a question regarding how does the change of ownership impact this decision tonight, or does it at all?
It doesn't at all, but when we first processed this application back in September of 2024, at a local level, we didn't anticipate that the state DCC was going to require that instead of a modification of the existing license, they were going to require a new license, which that is taking a longer process.
I'm sorry, just can I ask a little bit slower, just because that was a lot of information.
Oh, sure.
So it doesn't at all because the state changed the code? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that we didn't anticipate that the DCC was going to require a brand new application due to the change of ownership rather than the state requiring a simple modification. And a simple modification is a quicker and faster process.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Vice Chair Ng.
Thank you, Chair. I have two questions for you, Supervisor Benitez. The Green Queen is already a DCC license holder. So does that not simplify it? It's not like they're applying for a brand new license.
For this location, it's a brand new license.
Okay. And then I guess then the question that I would also ask is, the Green Queen owns this building. Is it not possible for them to begin anything until the license is in place? Like they couldn't even go change carpet or anything?
So because they're doing a TI that requires building permits, so with that, they need to finish the building permits before they start any work.
Any other questions? I have a broader question. The timeline that was put on cannabis businesses to begin operate by a certain date, what was the logic by that deadlines? Like what was the intent of that deadline?
That is in our municipal code. It's part of a definition, and this is what our city council, it's the plan for all the cannabis businesses to be in continual operation. That's the spirit of the law, to require all cannabis businesses to be in continual operation, and they do not have a lapse of 60 days. Unless, of course, there is something out of control, such as COVID pandemic, or they being shut down by a state government agency.
So is it correct to say that the intent was to make sure that nobody gets the license and just holds it without operating it, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Is the applicant present?
Yes, they are.
Yes. You will be provided 5 minutes or as determined by the commission. Please provide your presentation.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you for the staff report. I appreciate you all taking the time. I'm aware that we're the only new item on the agenda, so the meeting kind of feels about us. So thank you especially for taking the time to do that. As Jessica said in her staff report, we were unaware, and actually the broader business community seemed to be unaware that this wasn't a requirement in the municipal code. It's just a definition that actually isn't referenced again later in the municipal code. So it gave the impression that there was a requirement that cannabis businesses need to operate every 60 days, but that's not the case and hasn't been the case. It only becomes force of law when it's put into the resolutions, as you all put it in. But at the time when it was put in, it was believed to be required in the municipal code. So it was just one of the 30 things on the list that was in the boilerplate. So that's a little bit of the background on kind of why it wasn't raised as an issue then and how we got to where we were now. Because I always knew it was going to be tight to open up that business. it's, for all intents and purposes, a brand new business. The locations change, the ownerships change, the names change, the branding's changed, the furniture is all brand new and custom. The exterior we've muralized, and we have a mural permit for that with the acclaimed Patrick Church, who's doing the whole front of it, as I had previewed when I came in front of you all in September. So it's a lot of moving parts to get up and running, but we've made a lot of progress on it. The tenant improvements we're seeking are just for 2 decorative half walls inside the space, so we actually have done most of the build out of what we're allowed to do up until we need to do those half walls. We've got the mural permit, the furniture is almost all completely done and is set to be delivered April 8th. So very much underway, and there's no one who's more eager for this to launch. Ideally by 4/20 is what I was really shooting for. No one wants this to open quicker and sooner than me. So under no circumstances are any issue with the real estate or the financing or any interest in our side of delaying. It's a really good project. The furniture is $200,000 for a 450 square foot store. So this is designed to a really high standard. We got a custom 5-foot disco ball, which is huge next to a person. 5 foot is, this tall, but then it's round. That's gonna be the entire jewel of the second story, basically, of the building with dichromatic sheeting around it. And this is, again, on the corner, right out here, catty corner to Rocco. So this is gonna be an anchor corner for West Hollywood. That's going to take otherwise a blue building that doesn't have a lot of engagement and really going to supercharge the district. So we're really excited about the project. We're really appreciative for y'all having supported us in September. We're really excited to bring it to you now by Pride instead of 4/20, and I'm here to take any questions.
Excuse me, can I have you state your name?
Oh, yes, my name's Taylor Baisley. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Green Queen.
Okay, thank you. Do any commissioners have any questions for the applicant? Commissioner Eisenberg?
Just confirming, so you don't think you'll make 4/20 anymore, but you're trying to get it in place
I'm still
before
really
Pride?
hoping for 4/20. Everything within my control should be done by 4/20, but the DCC requiring a new license is a major setback. It's basically comes dependent on how quickly we get through their environmental review process. I opened a store in January in Sherman Oaks. That was another new license, and it took the state 3 months just for the environmental review portion. And that's like, no, it's not a sensitive site, there's no vegetation on site, we're not near a waterway, it just takes a long time for them to do the environmental review.
But you have all the West Hollywood permits you need?
No, we still have to get the half walls. It's been a bit of a frustrating process, but we are pretty much done. Alexis, my staff over there, has been working very diligent with our architect and our our GC and our ADA consultant now, and maybe even a couple other consultants, because it's required for these half walls we're trying to put in. So it's been a sore topic, but I think we're pretty much there. We've been working very closely with the city staff, so I have to give a lot of credit to the city staff on that, especially Derek, who has come out of the woodwork to be extremely helpful at helping to facilitate that permit process.
Do you think you'll need another 60 days after this one?
Well, the recommendation, which we appreciate and I would like if it was just approved, was to basically align what our timeline with what you'd give to most cannabis businesses that are starting new, which I believe is a year from the approval and then up to 2 6-month extensions. We won't need that much time, but I would definitely appreciate more than another 60 days because we haven't even gotten to the environmental review of the state. We'll hopefully get there in like 2 weeks, and that could take up to 3 months. And it could take longer.
So it's essentially, the license will give you the approval from September 24th or from tonight?
From the staff recommendation is from September 24th that we have a year, and then up to 2 6-month extensions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Commissioner Cochran.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you so much to staff for the report and for your explanation as well. when we set this special meeting, I made sure to really read everything and try to understand it as much as I could. So I've been brusking up on my information of these licensing requirements. And one of the things you just mentioned was that you haven't even gotten the environmental review yet. And I know it's not your fault, you're waiting on the
that's the last
states.
thing.
Does that, in your experience, take a really long time?
Yeah, well, it took 3 months in Sherman Oaks, which is a long time by my, because that's just like the end of the state's review process. And the state does it sequentially. So we're in the final stages of the business review, where they review they do background checks on all the owners, they review the operating agreement, corporate structure, some other things like that, a bunch of forms we submit, premise diagram and all that. Then after that, there's another phase, which I believe is like the physical inspection, and then there's environmental review. And the first two should go pretty quick usually. It's environmental review that is done by lawyers, and they take a long time.
Got it. So you were saying that, ideally you would like to be open by 4/20. That would be a month and 1 day.
Yeah.
But is that realistic at all?
No, well, it's unlikely because that would mean like a 2-week environmental review. If everything goes according to plan how it should, we should get to environmental review like in 2 weeks. And the idea that they'll turn around a 2-week environmental review seems unlikely to me. But that 3 month that I just described in Sherman Oaks, it was over November, Thanksgiving, and December, Christmas, and New Year's Eve. So it's possible that the staff assigned to that at the state weren't working necessarily as diligently, and perhaps the holidays disrupted their workflow. So it might be that we get it a little bit quicker in the 2 weeks. The state does not give any sort of estimated timeline. They have a very strong policy of not telling us applicants anything related to their work process, where they're at, or how long it could take.
So on April 20th is shooting high,
April 20th
but-
is ambitious. That was what I was really shooting for back in the day. It's a big sales day for me, big press day. It'd be a great launch, but Pride would be a good launch too. We're right there on the corner, unveiling a Patrick Church mural with a 5-foot disco ball reminiscent of queer nightlife, right there on the corner where the parade stops. It's gonna be a really big moment that I think creates a really nice backdrop that really enhances the intersection up there. So we'll definitely be, to your question, or maybe it was yours, if we would need another extension. Probably not. We should definitely be open by June. Okay. Everything within my control will be done in April. The build out and the furniture and that sort of stuff. And the stuff within the control of the state should be done by June, no problem.
Okay, so I know you sort of just said this, but so June actually does feel very realistic as a
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys wanted to shorten it, you could just say like we have a year from the approval, and you cut off the extensions. I'd appreciate the extensions because it gives added wiggle room, so I don't have to come in front of you again necessarily. But I don't anticipate needing those.
Okay, and then I think my last question for now is, like hypothetically, let's say everything got approved right now.
Yeah.
This very minute. Are you guys ready to open? Like, do you have suppliers lined up? Do you have everything else lined up? Everything else would be good.
Yeah,
you could open up pretty much right away.
Sorry
It's
to talk
okay.
over you.
No problem.
Yeah, our general manager is our inventory manager in downtown. He's a drag queen on the side, very consistent with the Green Queen brand in our West Hollywood store, and very effective. We have really good corporate infrastructure ready to take on this third store. I've overhired. We have more corporate infrastructure with a bigger COO than we would necessarily hire for just the 1.5 stores that we're at now. So we're totally ready to take it on. As far as like supply, there's well-established distribution channels in cannabis. 90% of the product you see in a store are provided by like 2 distributors. So it's pretty easy to do that, and certainly we're experts at it. So we're ready to go, and we're excited to do it.
Great. And then you're confident that everyone involved is a good actor and will pass their background checks and all of that.
Yeah,
Right.
Tristan's the only background check, and Tristan did a live scan and passed a background check with you all recently, I think related to the Abbey anyhow. So they just won't. We actually tried to be like, will you take this back? Actually, he did a background check for the city of West Hollywood for that September hearing. We were like, oh, state, will you take his background check for this one? And they said no, so he had to go get his own background check. So I'm not worried about anything coming out of the woodwork there.
Got it. Great. Thank you. I appreciate your answers.
Yeah.
Vice Chairing.
Thank you, Chair. I'm curious now that you mentioned that you have your products in place. Are you not carrying the same products throughout the chain, or will there be products unique to West Hollywood?
There will be products unique to West Hollywood for sure. Our procurement definitely reflects the community that we're in. In Sherman Oaks, it is a little bit of, the clientele looks for a little bit different things. It's a little bit older, and they're looking for a different mix of products that we tailor to them there. In West Hollywood, we're definitely looking to really push the envelope in an exciting way. We're looking, like downtown, it's kind of a superstore. We have a very large store in downtown. It's like 3,600 square feet. Like 20-foot vaulted ceiling. So we have everything there. But this one's only 450 square feet, the showroom floor. So we will have to pick and choose a little bit, but the stuff we're absolutely choosing to include are things like the suppositories and the lube and the bath bombs and the dick bongs and like the really kind of fun stuff, as well as the things that consumers look for that are the big gummy brands, the flower table. We have a really advanced flower table, which is kind of fun, where it's in our Sherman Oaks location, it's a table, but this one's going to be built on a wall that has like smell jars, so it's interactive. So even if you don't do flower, you can there's magnifying, you can see the flower and you can smell it. So we're definitely including all of the kind of like fun extra elements that we can.
I'm happy to hear that you can smell again, because during COVID, they shut that down.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Wait, and I have to say, when I heard of the suppositories the first time, I was surprised. I've never heard of penis bomb, cannabis penis bomb, so that's a new one.
The penis bongs fly off the shelves.
There you go.
I'm always like, staff, where are the penis bongs? Are like, they sold out. Okay, go buy more then. I make a joke about that, where that's not our main revenue source by any stretch of any imagination, but it is kind of fun, and that's something that Green Queen brings to the table, is an element of fun and self-exploration, a little bit some for everything. Alexis has been a champion of making sure we have boob bongs as well for the lesbian community especially. So we're definitely really trying to have a lot of really kind of interesting stuff and do things that are a little bit more fun than your run-of-the-mill dispensary.
All right, and then I'm going to say, if you don't make Pride, you can always do 710, which for those who don't know
Yeah.
is another weed holiday that is really not that known. And then I'll just say that it's nice to see you here, because I'm sure it was a bummer to have to drive back down from Ventura, or I'm sure you guys are going up
I
there
did come from Ventura.
Yeah, because you're at Hall of Flowers.
Hall of Flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's where we just came from. Oh, no, it's okay. We got through the whole Hall of Flowers, and it was fun to be at, and I'm happy to be here.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak on item?
JP Dupree.
Hello again. Sorry for repetition. Longtime resident of the city, big supporter of legal cannabis for both recreational and medical uses, customer of the Abbey. I also support the use of PrEP in controlling HIV spread and limiting exposure. I'm here to speak against extending the business license period for them to begin operations here, mainly because I'm concerned about the influence of money in politics as it's growing on every level of our government. There were already concessions made about the proximity to West Hollywood Park. This location itself has sat underutilized, utilized as nothing more than a billboard for longer than I can remember, and I would like nothing more than this business to succeed in this venue. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's happening on any sort of acceptable timeline here. The applicant himself is saying he may need extensions again. I'm not supportive of extending this, and I think that this commission should consider declining the extension. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
There are no other speakers at this time.
Applicant, do you wish to make any further statement or rebuttal before we close the public portion of the commission, the hearing?
No, I would just note, though, that I'm not actually asking for
You'll need to, excuse me, Taylor, you'll need to approach the podium, please.
No, just the clarification that I put out there, the idea that if you wanted to knock off the extra extensions, it doesn't matter a ton, because if we're not open by September, we're doing something really wrong. But it takes a while to do these businesses. Since September, when you approved us, we had to finalize the design, because until we got approval, we weren't gonna put like too much. We already did put tens of thousands of dollars in pre-approval for sure to get the renderings and all that. But then we have to like finalize the renderings, get the furniture order in, and the furniture order, we got it in at the very beginning of October, and it's taken, they're not even gonna deliver it till April 8th. And we've been like writing them. They were even trying to extend the furniture delivery again, and I said it needs to be in by April 8th for us to potentially be open by April 20th. So from my perspective, we're definitely have been working very diligently, and it just takes longer than I would expect as well to open one of these businesses. Our downtown location, when I first opened it, my budget was like $300,000 or $400,000, and it ended up costing me $1.3 million. So it was like, it is surprising to me how expensive and time-consuming and difficult these businesses are to bring together. I don't even know sometimes where the time and the money and the attention goes, but it's definitely being paid. So I want to really give reassurance to that without taking more of your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have any questions before the public comment portion of the hearing is closed? I will now close the public comment portion of the hearing and bring it back to the commission for discussion and deliberation. Anyone wants to? No. Commissioner Eisenberg?
I was just going to say, I know we don't speak to the public speakers, but in reference to the public speaker, I would say we have a lot of empty storefronts up and down everywhere in the city. And if we were to abandon this, it could very well be, I think there's a good reason why it's been empty for a long time. And we have an active company that's willing to rent it and invest a lot of money in making sure it's a success. So I would be inclined to support the extension because I wouldn't want to see an empty building continue. Thank you.
Commissioner Woolen?
Yeah, I mean, I can sympathize with the applicant. I opened a real estate office a few years ago, and there was an existing business there before. I didn't even put up a pony wall. I gave up on that. I had to change the lighting and make the bathroom ADA compliant, and it took 9 months. I didn't put up a single wall. So it's a problem, and I sympathize and I get it, and I'm sure they're doing more, even though it's a small space. Ours was a very small space as well. So it does take time. And we want to support our local businesses the best that we can, as long as we think they're doing their due diligence and the best that they can to move forward. I don't think that there's any type of, behind the door money exchange or anything with the city and the business. They're just trying to get it done and asking for an extension of time. So I'm definitely inclined to support this. But I'm also, I mean, honestly, I'm also, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? Commissioner Cockrum?
Thank you, Chair. I actually kind of almost want to reiterate exactly what Commissioner Eisenberg said, and that obviously we cannot directly talk to people who make public comment, but I do understand your concerns. I don't want you to think, or anyone, not you, anyone to think that we aren't listening to you or your concerns. But we do want to support the businesses in our community, and I, when given this staff report, spoke to a lot of people in the community, and we also got 2 written comments as well, as you can see if you look at the agenda items, and there are people who are looking to support it even when they are someone who is in competition with them, and we want to see storefronts filled and not closed down. Of course, if this was something that was dragged on and never opened and remained an empty storefront or just a billboard for a business, then yeah, then certainly that would come back to the commission and they would have to request an extension again, and then it would be something that we could think about. But from my understanding from everyone that I've spoken with is that this is not really uncommon. Unfortunately, the state of California really drags its feet on getting a lot of things done, and it's actually expected that you have to deal with this from the state when it comes to licensing. So I would definitely be inclined to support them and do everything we can, assuming that, like I kind of said earlier, that they're good actors and doing what they said. And I think it's important to trust but verify. And if we have evidence that the applicant is really trying to get those permits done, then we should be supporting them. So I would be inclined to support as well. Thank you.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I know when when Green Queen was before us in September, we actually addressed the fact that there were empty storefronts. I think it was American Apparel in that building before, and Rounderbum and whatnot. So I think that, to reiterate what the Commissioner said, I think we do want to do what we can to promote any business use of the building. I do believe rules are rules as well. I do not think that there is any money being exchanged behind the scenes here, but I wonder what the harm would be to grant it to September without the further 6 months extensions. Because if things are being done on time, there's no reason they can't come back to the commission to give us an update on that. Yes, timelines, contractors move notoriously slow. I have enough of them in my family to say that. But I think that while we want to do everything we can to see this succeed, but we also owe it to the people to make sure that it's moving along on the proper timeline. So I obviously want to hear what the chairs say, but I would make a motion to that effect.
Thank you. Vice Chair Ng?
Thank you, Chair. First, I'll say that technically it's not an empty storefront. It is empty, but it is owned. I think that's always kind of been the controversy about that particular building. But I am also inclined to support, and the comment that I'll make is that when adult use came into effect, West Hollywood clearly wanted to establish our city as a cannabis tourism city, which is why we have Emerald Village. And now Phantom Flower will not be opening in the Rainbow District, so Green Queen would be the only one at this time. It makes sense to me. I think to utilize a 450 square foot space is going to be interesting. I'll look forward to seeing that. But yeah, again, I am inclined to support. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to just comment that this is more of a formality. It looks like the business is gearing towards opening in near future. I don't see any problem with the extension. It's not like this business is parking the license and keeping it just active without doing any, taking any proactive steps to open it. And I think there's, of course, understandably extra scrutiny because it is a particular cannabis type of dispensary business. But we gone through that process, which was a separate from today's item. So I'm also inclined to fully support the requested extension. So do we have any motion from any commissioners?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to support the to amend the resolution and allow the extension as is till September 28th, 2025.
So is your motion as as suggested by the city staff? Yes. Okay, so motion by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Eisenberg.
And just to clarify, the motion is to approve the resolution number BLC 24-0005 as written.
With an amendment, right?
The amendment.
There was no amendment.
Oh, no. I don't think you meant to. I'm sorry, I was reading it from the agenda. I'm not amending the resolution. I'm just, my motion is, yes, my motion is to,
And that's what you seconded, right?
okay.
So,
Can you restate it, please? Yeah.
Say again?
Can you restate your motion?
Yes. My motion is to approve the city's recommendation to.
as stated.
As stated. Thank you.
So, motion by Commissioner Berry and seconded by Commissioner Eisenberg. Secretary, may I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Berry?
Aye.
Commissioner Cochran?
Aye.
Commissioner Eisenberg?
Aye.
Commissioner Woolen?
Aye.
Vice Chair Ng?
Aye.
And Chair Yusupov.
Aye.
And the item is approved. Any action to challenge the final decision made as a result of the public hearing on this application must be filed within 15 days of the mailing date and pay the appropriate fees to the city clerk's office.
Thank you. The next item is unfinished business. There's no unfinished business. And item number 9 is new business. There's no new business. And the next item is item 10, items from staff. Do we have any items from staff?
Good evening, Chair Yusupov, Vice Chair Ng, and members of the Business License Commission. Just a couple items for tonight. As we know, this year's Pride event is fast approaching, and staff is already working with various departments in preparation for this year's event and looking forward to another great event and a safe event for everyone. I also wanted to congratulate Vice Chair Ng for her appointment to the city's Public Safety Commission. See, I just can't remove you from the connection to Business License Commission, but just want to communicate from staff our appreciation for your support and the great work that you've done on the commission, and look forward to your work on the Public Safety Commission. Also want to congratulate all the commissioners. I believe I heard Vice Mayor Heilman reappoint Chair Yusupov to the Business License Commission last night, and also Commissioner Jordan Cochran. Did I get that wrong? Okay, I got it wrong. Okay, I apologize for that. But congratulations to all the commissioners who received reappointments from the council. And again, thank you to Commissioner Ng for all the great work. And you're going to be there, doing great work on the Public Safety Commission. And you're the second commissioner that we've lost now, as this commission knows, with Commissioner Hang now becoming a council member. So we miss Commissioner Hang, or Council Member Hang now, and wish him well on the council. So very best to you. And looking forward to another great year ahead with all of our commissioners who are on the Business License Commission. That concludes my staff updates. Our next meeting will be on Tuesday, April 1st. There may be an adjustment to that date given some items that staff are working on right now with applicants. So we will keep you apprised of that. That concludes staff updates.
Thank you. The next item is public comment. This time is set aside for members of public to address West Hollywood Business License Commission on any item of interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the commission that could not be heard under the item 6 at the beginning of the meeting. Each speaker will have 2 minutes. Do we have any speakers?
There are no more speakers.
Thank you. Next item is number 12, items from commissioners. Do any commissioners have any items to bring forth? Commissioner Berry.
I'd just like to also congratulate Vice Chair Ng on her appointment as Public Safety Commissioner, and know that her presence was a valuable one on this commission and will be missed.
Thank you. Anyone else? Commissioner Eisenberg?
I also would like to congratulate Commissioner Ang. It's been an absolute pleasure working with her these past couple of years. She, like Commissioner Barry said, she's added a lot to this commission, and I know she'll do a tremendous job also in public safety. So congratulations.
Thank you. Commissioner Woolen?
Congratulations, and how dare you leave us. But I think, yeah, you're going to do a great job there. I really appreciate how prepared you always came to every meeting and always informing us about things that should be on our radar during our comment section at the end. So I hope you continue to do that at your next commission. Also, I know I brought this up a million times, but I'm still concerned with how we are monitoring some of the cannabis businesses that have been had ownership transfers that are supposed to stay within the same spirit of the license that they were given. I know some of them are not. I don't know how to address this or what we should do or how to do it, but maybe something that we could talk about with the staff after. And I think that it's something that needs to stay on our radar for future meetings on how to address that. So,
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Vice Chair Ng?
Thank you, Chair. I asked the Chair this evening if I could do the land acknowledgement because I had been memorizing it in the hopes of one day being Chair of this commission. Several years ago, I started lobbying the city for some cannabis safety training protocols, and because of that, Council Member Erickson appointed me to this commission, and I'm very grateful that he did so. I'm really grateful to have served with all of you. This commission is focused on work. We have been drama and conflict-free, which unfortunately is not every commission or board. So again, I'm very grateful to have been on this dais with all of you. To staff, Supervisor Benitez, Secretary Kingy, Manager Adamitis, all of you, and I'm so sorry, but I don't remember our legal counsel's name. I apologize for that. But I'm really grateful to have had the support from all four of you and to have been able to work with all of you. Manager Adamitis came from Goleta, which is another weed city, so I was very thrilled to hear that. And hopefully moving forward, you'll carry on the vein of supporting cannabis in this city. I think the plant is a miracle. I think the industry itself is a quagmire, and so anything that we can do to help our businesses, I think we should be doing. So with that, I say again, thank you. If cannabis or when cannabis becomes descheduled or rescheduled, I will probably try to join again. We'll have to see about that. So yes, thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you, and I'd like to congratulate you. And I think Public Safety Commissioners got really lucky to have you there. We'll miss you, so please visit when you get a chance. And I wanted to add to the comment by Commissioner Woolen, is that something that we can maybe ask the city staff to provide an update or report? Is that what you would like to see as far as your concern?
Yeah, I guess a report would be a great start, but also what's the process for a business that doesn't abide by the conditions we've given them for maintaining the original spirit of license that was originally given that City Council had approved? So what does that look like? Yeah.
Is that something that the city can update the commission on?
Thank you, Chair and Commissioner Bullen. We're happy to speak with you further about that, about any specific locations. And staff does conduct monitoring. And when those monitoring inspections involve corrective actions and so forth, that's an enforcement action that we use to correct. So those actions are not reported to the commission because it becomes an enforcement action. But we can review with Supervisor Benitez and talk further about this with you directly.
Okay, thank you. Do any commissioners have any other comments or questions? No? I guess then the next item is adjournment. Our meeting is adjourned at 6:55. Thank you.
Other.
I got here and it was the sweetest crowd ever, and they were really connecting with what we were doing. It was really beautiful. Everyone was listening. People were responding to the music. I think the main job of music is to make people feel good or feel something. I want this to feel like something anybody walking by could participate in. And usually the comment I get is like, wow, you guys look like you're having fun, and therefore I had fun. It's kind of, I hope to just like bring people